TV. We're here today with Dr. Michael Weld, Doctor of Nutrition and Director of Nutritional Services at Integrated Medicine of Mount Kisco, PC. Our topic today is exercise. If a person does not see any results from their exercise, does it necessarily mean they are doing something wrong? If so, after how long in a certain routine is it beneficial to reassess?
Well, if a person is exercising and they're not getting results, whether they be weight loss or improvement in fitness or general sense of well-being or energy, then probably the exercise is being done inappropriately. Now, we're assuming that there isn't any other health issue that might account for why someone is not getting the benefit from the exercise, but if we assume it's the actual performance of the exercise, I'd like to say a few things about that. Number one, if someone is exercising, they should have chosen an exercise that they can enjoy. If you absolutely hate the exercise, you're probably not going to get much benefit from it. So putting that aside for a moment. Again, depending on the goal of the exercise, that's important too in judging whether or not someone's getting the right effect. If it's weight loss and someone's been exercising, let's say, for a month, and they haven't lost, let's say, a pound or so a week, assuming that their diet is good, then they're probably not exercising hard enough. In general, the exercise, and if we're talking about aerobic exercise, that's meant to get your heart rate up and your metabolic rate increased. The person should be sweating, and they need to perform that exercise probably, believe it or not, for a minimum of between 45 and 60 minutes, at least 3 and 4 days a week. So, number one, if you're not getting results from your exercise, first, look at, are you performing the exercise long enough? Are you monitoring your heart rate? Maybe your heart rate is not high enough for the duration of your exercise, so you're basically spinning your wheels. A person also might be expecting too much from exercise if they've only been exercising for a short period of time. So what's a short period of time? If someone's morbidly obese and they've been exercising for a month and want to know why they haven't lost much weight, well, it might take a while to kick things into gear. Just because one is doing the right exercise the right way, it still may take a bit longer for the body to adapt to it. So those are the basics. Enjoy the exercise you're doing, perform it for long enough, frequently enough, and regularly enough, making sure your heart rate is where it needs to be for your age and your health condition, and making sure that you're sweating during your exercise, and that you're doing the right exercise for whatever you're exercising for. If you're trying to lose weight and you're lifting heavy weights, well, that's not going to do it. You can do that, but you should also be doing aerobic exercise, something that elevates your heart rate between 60 and 75% of your heart rate's maximum. And that's something that your dietitian or trainer, or even online on various websites and places where you can look up your age relative to where your heart rate should be for different types of exercise.
What is the best source of fuel to provide optimal athletic performance?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question. What is the best source of what?
Fuel to provide optimal athletic performance.
So the question is, what should we be eating or drinking so that we can get through our exercise and get the results that we want? So in general, if you're doing aerobic exercise, which is defined by keeping your heart rate up for 45 to 60 or more minutes, one wants to have an unrefined form of carbohydrate, usually mixed with some sort of protein or amino acid, either food or nutritional sports drink, right before the exercise, perhaps sipping it during the exercise, but definitely having your carbohydrate, amino acid, or protein drink or food within 60 minutes post-exercise. If you don't replete or put back proteins which you need to help offset tissue breakdown, and if you don't put back the right carbohydrates for energy, a person could actually become fatigued with continued exercise efforts. A very good snack during exercise to maintain blood sugar would be any sort of fruit, like strawberries or bananas. But if your exercise routine is particularly strenuous, you'd want a more simple form of sugar in a healthy form, and that would be glucose in the form of grapes. Grapes, whether they're green or purple grapes or even red grapes, they're the only fruit source of glucose, which is a simpler sugar when you need sugar fast. When you want to put back your sugar or prevent you from losing your sugar energy over time, you'd have any other form of fruit. So that would be my suggestion as far as foods. And then there are a variety of sports drinks on the market, which can be found on my website and other reputable websites as well.
What are the main forms of exercise, and what is the ideal combination or ratio in order to work on all aspects of bodily health and fitness?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that question at all.
What are the main forms of exercise, and what is the ideal combination or ratio in order to work on all aspects of bodily health and fitness?
So there are many different types of exercise. The two basic categories are your anaerobic and your aerobic exercise. The aerobic would be things like running and bicycle riding and stair climbers or walking at a certain pace. And then there's the anaerobic exercise, which is generally considered like weight training. There are more subtle definitions beyond that, but for the purpose of this conversation, those are the two categories. I think that each person should do some combination of both. I am a marathon runner, for example, but I also lift weights because I don't want to become too thin from all the running. So for me, the ratio is a certain combination of 2/3 aerobic running and 1/3 weight training, and that maintains my health. So the ideal ratio for each person needs to be based on what their health goals are, what their athletic goals might be, and that is something that a person would need to discuss really with their nutritionist who has some training in exercise physiology.
What is the value in stretching before and after working out? Can stretching itself be seen as a productive form of exercise?
Well, there's a lot of controversy in this area, too, in terms of what benefit there are, even detrimental effects that stretching might have. Most people might tell you, or even trainers, that stretching is just something you do before every exercise. As a runner, I was told all my life that you want to stretch before you run. But newer evidence suggests that just general stretching does not enhance running, or any exercise for that matter, but warming up your muscles, actually doing a lighter form of whatever exercise is that you intend to do. So, for example, if you're going to do bicep curls, do just curls without weights in your hands, several repetitions, several sets, to warm up those particular muscles in the range of motion that your exercise will demand. So a runner, for example, or someone who's going to ride a bicycle, would just pedal lightly on the bicycle, or a runner might walk or run very, very slowly before either the person on the bicycle, or the runner would pick up the pace. The point is, think of doing whatever, a warm-up that's consistent using the motions demanded by the exercise, to do deep knee bends and to do generalized stretching that does not involve the precise body systems and muscles that are used during the exercise is not thought to help at all, and could actually, what I'm saying here is very important to listen to, is doing the improper stretches or overstretching is thought to now cause micro tears, which can actually increase injury during your exercise. So you want to exercise and you want to stretch in a way that's consistent, using the same muscles you would use during the exercise for your stretching techniques.
This has been Dr. Michael Wald.